there was a whole learning curve about the industry, about the technology, about the opportunities. So I had to tear that thing apart on my own for much of the time. If I were in if I had a good project that I needed to figure out worked or could become a great project, I would have been far better suited, saved a substantial amount of money, and gotten my project done much faster if I'd connected with experts like yourself sooner. I knew that we had something of substance and opportunity in our own backyard with Bagasse. It took me a little while to figure out biochar, but I've always had my eye on this pile of carbon that sat in right outside the sugar mill that we all spend so much time at for family events, and I've just been drawn to the opportunity that is biochar, and over the last couple of years, really dug in to learn more and more about the applications, and really tried to kind of crystallize the opportunity of what Lakeland could be in the biochar space. So really happy to get this project to where it is now and be at the doorstep of starting construction and beginning to process some of this biomass into biochar.
And when you think about it, obviously we've been to site. It's the Mount Rushmore of Bagasse. I mean, it's impressive. You can see it from like almost satellite imagery.
Yeah, it's currently the pile is 40 acres in size, and that's 100% of what's been milled at Alma over the course of all these years, and we really have nothing to do with it other than pile it up and maintain it. As you can kind of see behind us, there's heavy equipment on this pile at all times managing it. It's a substantial cost to the business. And at some point in the not too distant future, the costs will increase to the point where it'll harm economics for all the mills in Louisiana. What Lakeland's done is diligently vetted all the equipment manufacturers out there for their ability to process bagasse and turn it into a biochar product so that we could figure out how to do this. And we've come a very long way over about a 2-year period of time in finding the right type of equipment. We were fortunate enough to work with some of the guys at the U.S. Biochar Initiative with grain and try to vet and find the right application that could help us make the best biochar in the space. And we're happy to say that we have found a gasification technology that can take us forward in the production of biochar.
You hear a lot of discussion about circular economy, waste to value. You touched on economics a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's really critical. Maybe just share a little bit from a use case perspective. 2 to 3 acres a year, I think, is the statistic you had told me when we were on site in terms of land that is being eaten up on top of what's already been taken by this bagasse. Maybe share a little bit around the economics of doing this outside of the benefits to society and to the farmers, which we're going to get into a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, like every year we have to, I don't want to say the dollar amount, but we have to spend a substantial amount of money just moving the pile around, maintaining it, working on it. And given the fact that Alma's been so successful in their ability to grow their milling capacity, the amount of additional land needed to store this waste is going to always grow. And there's not going to be a scenario where we just can continue to lay it out there forever in perpetuity. At some point, you consume all the land that's available. And for our purposes, we're really focused on trying to neutralize that. It's our main goal to consume the waste in a milling season completely so that the pile doesn't grow. Our secondary goal, I should have said our initial goal, is to consume all the waste that's produced in a given year. Our secondary goal is to start to get into the pile itself and kind of reclaim the land that's already been consumed by what it takes up and the storage of that waste. So as far as an economic it's very costly. Don't want to get into the specifics. That's not everybody's business, but they'll only grow unless we start to handle the waste itself, start to consume some of that waste, and that's the goal of Lakeland. Make a quality biochar from a quality waste product and supply it to our growing footprint so that we can, put more carbon on the ground and increase our crop yields in a safe and ecologically friendly way.
Talk us through the partnership with Grain. So how did you hear about Grain Ecosystem, and then what got you to really lean in and build that level of trust and take the first step to the point of where we are today on our journey?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been a fabulous experience. Not to flatter you guys to your face or in this interview directly, but the professionalism, expertise, and connectivity that you've brought have taken me as a project developer and helped me accelerate what I'm trying to accomplish. It's no secret that the biochar market is kind of in its infancy. It's hard for people to find the proper financing that they need to launch a project that's on the fringe of really feeling or really having the economic, the economics well defined, I should say. Biochar, is going to be a tremendous opportunity, but we are early days. So as a project developer, it's a harder project to launch, and you guys have helped me move faster than I anticipated I could have. Again, the professionalism, the expertise, and the connectivity you have in these carbon markets make it easier for guys like me to accomplish our goals.
And I think one of the things I've always prided our team on and our work on is being able to make reversible decisions quickly and irreversible decisions deliberately. And it's true. I mean, the most valuable resource we have is certainly our time, and then capital, deploying the capital to the right things. And these projects can get complex. We hear a lot about carbon markets, different methodologies. It'd be interesting to get your perspective as a project developer in the biochar space on carbon markets, but in particular, how the role of grain and leveraging grain in the process has maybe helped open your eyes a little bit more to the carbon economics and the other elements that go into the process between eligibility, carbon profiling, and then building out the economics of the project.
It's no secret that is the hardest part of getting a deal like Lakeland launched, is taking the step into the new market, figuring out how the registration process is going to work, how to actually be able to properly quantify your credits. These are all black boxes for project developers that don't have any experience in this space. And you guys help to reveal a lot of the how-tos, I should say. I knew I could create carbon credits. I had my engineering groups come out, take a look at my project, quantify things, but to take the step into registering those credits, getting registered in the market, having the opportunity to find offtake and all the necessary, the other side of the necessary trade has been something that you guys have made a lot easier. I can honestly say that it would have taken me much, much longer. It cost me much, much more had I not, found you guys when I did.
And I'm glad you flagged that point, because what's really important is, yes, we're a digital first platform. We're trying to bring transparency, ease of use, speed and scale, but we're immensely clear about the actions we want to take in the community.
Right.
So we go visit farms. We go and we sit through the biochar academies, because without that's voice of customer. That's how we move the space forward.
Right.
And then working with someone like yourself and with Lakeland at really the cutting edge of doing a project at a massive clip. We really think about the scope of these projects. Lakeland has the potential. We see it. We're looking at different form factors to it. I guess, what advice would you have as somebody who's been living this and doing it and ready to cut some ribbons? What does it look like from a developer perspective? What advice would you have to other either folks in the process of doing a biochar project or they're thinking about it?
I had to educate myself from the ground up. I had to figure out what technology was going to work. I had to figure out if my feedstock was going to be applicable to what I was trying to do. So there was a whole learning curve about the industry, about the technology, about the opportunities. So I had to tear that thing apart on my own for much of the time. If I were in if I had a good project that I needed to figure out worked or could become a great project, I would have been far better suited, saved a substantial amount of money, and gotten my project done much faster if I'd connected with experts like yourself sooner. I mean, that's just the truth of it. It may be it may sound promotional, but that's just the reality. This is a new space. If you're a project developer and you think you have, a good project, you got to connect with people that know the space, and you guys do. And I'm happy to have found you when I did, but I wish I found you a little earlier.
Tyler, look, having you on the grain train has been a privilege. It will continue to be a privilege. We're an ecosystem for a reason.
Yeah.
We need to all be rowing in the same direction, helping each other. You mentioned at the beginning, how do you know you picked the right technology? Being able to talk to technology providers. Offtake. I mean, in your scenario, you've got an incredible community of stakeholders, but you're also doing cutting edge stuff as well. You're looking at other offtake optionality, not just soil amendment as an example, because that's how the market's going to flourish and grow. It's great. We've got 336 and 808, but we need those other incentives. And together, through moving the chain and articulating the pros, the cons, the processes, that's how we get better collectively as a community. So I thank you for all that you do and all you continue to do for the broader biochar community, and it's an honor to have you as part of the grain ecosystem.
Happy to do it. Thanks for coming down and visiting. Really appreciate it.